A suspect on transitional leave from prison is now in custody after attempting to elude police and flipping his car. The Medford Police Department says they initiated the traffic stop on a visibly intoxicated driver who suddenly fled the stop. In a pursuit, the driver ran a stop sign and flipped his vehicle into a yard. Police detained him after he crawled out of the wreckage. 4 hours later, he provided a blood alcohol content of 0.14. We're working to get more information regarding reports of shots being fired in West Eugene around 8:50 last night in the 1400 block of Oak Patch Road. According to Eugene police, one person was taken into custody and no injuries were reported. A neighbor tells us it allegedly happened during a dispute at an apartment complex. We will update you when more information becomes available. The Oregon Youth Authority is facing a $51 million lawsuit, the largest of its kind. Reporter Tanvi Varma shows us 10 people claim they were sexually abused while in custody at a youth correctional facility in Woodburn.
In a whopping $51 million lawsuit, 10 people are alleging that they were sexually abused while they were incarcerated at the McLaren Youth Facility in Woodburn.
All of our clients were young boys when this abuse started. Many were as young as 12.
Revealing the identity of one of the alleged perpetrators for the first time.
That doctor was Dr. Edward Gary Edwards. And Dr. Edwards, as you'll see in the lawsuit, his abuse of boys at McLaren was so prolific that he was known amongst boys and staff as Dr. Coldfingers. He was the primary medical provider at McLaren, and according to records that we obtained from McLaren, he was involved in managing the health of youth at McLaren from 1977 until at least 2007 or 2008.
Alleging that the then boys did try to report their claims of abuse.
And our clients will testify, and you will hear, that McLaren corrections officers and staff who received those reports ignored them. And worse than that, we allege in this lawsuit that at times the McLaren staff weaponized Dr. Edwards' abuse of youth. And by that, we mean when one of our clients' behavior wasn't to the staff liking, they would threaten them that, hey, if you don't get in line, we're going to send you to see Dr. Coldfingers.
Adding that the story includes more than just Dr. Edwards.
And we have identified, well, we've alleged abuse by 5 other staffers.
Take a look at some of the statistics released by OYA. A peer review found it in a 6-year period starting in 2018, 534 reports were open or suspended, but over 4,000 cases were closed. Over the last 2 months, they have changed leadership and made improvements to make sure youth reporting and investigations are accessible, transparent, and thorough. They have also brought on 4 temporary investigators to double the office's investigative capacity and will continue to investigate 171 of the 534 reports made before October of 2024. 91 reports have been made in the last 6 months that are also open or suspended. Have you heard of Flamer? The book you see right behind me has been stirring quite the debate after the Siuslaw School Board banned it. But some people are confused and say it shouldn't be banned. So what was the reasoning for the ban? Well, the novel is described as a story about a teenager in the 1995 trying to navigate uncomfortable language thrown around by his peers and suicidal thoughts as he grapples with his sexual orientation. A student filed a complaint about the book leading to the ban. However, some argue the book should stay on shelves because it can teach a lot to a generation that is able to grapple with complex themes around its lead character.
He never comes out and says that they're gay. It just questions whether he is or not. And ultimately, it's his faith, ironically, is what keeps him from making the decision to take his own life. But we've had a lot of children take their lives within this school district and local school districts. And if this book could save one child, it's worth it.
By banning any book, we are essentially saying that certain ideas or stories aren't worthy of discussion or consideration.
Those in favor of the ban say while it was a difficult decision to make, taking it off shelves holds the district to a higher standard. More than 50 universities are now under investigation for alleged racial discrimination, and those schools are now in danger of losing federal funding. And two of the schools are the University of Oregon and Washington State University. This is part of President Trump's effort to end DEI programs that his officials claim discriminate against white people. Most of these inquiries are focused on schools' partnerships with the PhD Project, a nonprofit that helps marginalized students get degrees in business to help diversify the workforce. Take a look at your screen. While data varies slightly, a significant majority of CEOs in the U.S. are white, with white men making up the portion of those positions. Only about 6% of CEOs in the U.S. are black, while only 3% are Hispanic or Latino. From funding cuts to distributing funds, nearly $77 million is headed to public schools across the state as part of Oregon's Common School Fund. So let's just see how much some counties will be receiving. The 4J School District in Eugene will get over $2 million. The Bethel School District will get over $800,000. Springfield is getting over $1 million, same for the Greater Albany School District, and also for Corvallis. Curry County will get over $90,000. Josephine County is getting a little over $700,000. Jackson County is getting over $430,000. Klamath County is getting over $660,000, and over $94,000 will go to Lake County. Clearly, these are not all the school districts, and you can find a full list of funds on our state's website. Chaotic, confusing, and left feeling uncertain about the future. That's just how some business owners are describing President Trump's economic policies. The Wall Street Journal reports consumer angst at all income levels, saying signs of weakness are showing up in spending on everything from basics to luxuries. This comes as Trump is now proposing a new 200% tariff on wine and champagne from Europe. The president's announcement causing a domino effect on Wall Street, with the Dow Jones dropping 500 points for the first time in 2 years. Economists warned the Trump trade policies will soon have a significant impact on American consumers, with higher prices. Back to Trump's threat of a 200% tariff on all alcohol coming from Europe, which could have impacts here in Oregon. The owner of Dana Campbell Vineyards says the tariffs would increase the price of producing wine. Many winemakers get their supplies from Mexico, China, or Canada. In 2019, similar tariffs went into effect, and Patrick Flannery said instead of strengthening American supply chains, it's just increasing their prices to match the inflated tariffs-induced price.
You would think, okay, well, then we'll buy American glass. Well, American glass used to be about the same price as the Chinese glass, 47 cents, and it went up to $1.77 as well.
Winemakers say that tariffs have the potential to raise the price of every step of production. This would lead to a more expensive price to make the wine. French oak wine barrels are required to age the wine. The steel for the vats they're made in, the bottles they're stored in, and the corks to close the bottles all face price increases. Right now, businesses are keeping their eye on tariffs and their finger on the pulse of prices for production. A $20 million federal grant for Lane County was unexpectedly suspended just weeks after it was supposed to take effect. Officials say they were given no warning, and now vital emergency resources are in limbo. The grants from the EPA were going to fund 6 community resilience hubs across the county, which would have provided shelter and resources during severe weather events. Leaders say they remain committed to the project, but will have to find different funding sources. Now to a crime alert, where an investigation is underway following an unprovoked assault that ended with a person being stabbed. The Jackson County Sheriff's Office says a commercial electrician was working when all of a sudden a man came up and started assaulting him. The electrician then pulled out a pocket knife to stop the attack, and the suspect was then taken to the hospital. This is an ongoing investigation, and we will update you when we learn more about any possible charges that may be filed. There's a second Eugene family YMCA in the works, and they're already got their sights set on a piece of land. The YMCA has reached a tentative agreement to purchase nearly 5 acres of land from LTD. They're offering more than $4 million for the land on the corner of River Road and Hunsaker Lane. The agreement includes a due diligence period during which the Y will conduct environmental assessments, inspections, and feasibility studies. The project will only go forward if the site meets the needs of the community.
For helpful garden tips, watch In the Garden on Newswatch 12. In the Garden, seasonal gardening advice from local experts focusing on planting techniques, food from home, and even tools to help you improve your garden experience. Anything that will make your plants healthier and tastier in the garden. Watch every Tuesday and Thursday at 6 p.m. Newswatch 12's In the Garden, presented by the Grange Co-op.
This March at Renewal by Andersen, replace your windows, your patio doors, or your entry door, and we're going to give you an amazing opportunity. You ready? Pay nothing, and I mean zero zilch nada, for 24 months. Just to be clear, that's 2 years. I'm talking about no deposit, no payments, and no interest until March 2027. We don't know when we'll be able to offer this special financing again, so get in on this while you can. And did you know over 60% of all our customers choose to finance? It just makes sense. But hold on, why choose Renewal by Andersen in the first place? Well, we use an exclusive window frame material. It's called Fibrex. It never needs painting. It's twice as strong as vinyl. And it was designed to handle extreme temperature swings while repelling moisture and the elements. Speaking of the elements, after a 20-year durability test, our windows are still going strong like the day they were installed. Replace your windows, patio doors, or your front entry door, and there's no deposit, no payments, and no interest until March 2027. Get them now and pay down the line. Right now, get free installation, plus take $500 off your entire project with no money down, no payments, and no interest for 2 full years. Our design consultants, measure techs, certified master installers, and customer service staff are all local, and they're ready to give you the best home improvement experience you've ever had. Book a free window and door inspection with us, and make sure to call before March 31st to lock in our special financing. 541-394-8484. That's 541-394-8484.
Want to save on flooring just like a pro? Save on Redwood, Pet Premier, and Mohawk Virgo.
More movements are made on Mohawk.
Go to NoFrillsFlooring.com today. Isn't it time you save like a contractor? No Frills Flooring.
Ross Emily Drive, Medford.
Save big on your favorite essentials at Ray's Food Place with Newswatch 12's Rogue Deals. Go to kdrv.com/Rogue Deals to find great savings at participating Ray's Food Place locations.
Closed captioning is provided as a public service of Newswatch 12. Now, Storm Tracker 12 weather with meteorologist Sarah Kress.
Looking rather wintry in Mount Shasta and in Chilcoin, temperatures still into the 30s. Grants Pass right now 34, Medford 41. In those areas, though, we aren't seeing any snow, but we'll likely be continuing with those showers throughout our day. Checking in with radar, it's not stopping anytime soon. This activity will likely continue into the night, where we can see showers continue, and then we'll track more winter weather as we're heading into the weekend. But look out at our west side passes. This morning we were dealing with some slick areas. The snow is sticking around in some places into those grassy areas, but in your lower west side passes, dealing with some wet roads right now. But into Siskiyou County, still dealing with some snowy areas, still pretty windy as well as we're heading towards Weed into the Shasta Valley, so then we'll continue to see that throughout our day. We do have a winter storm warning issued until 5 p.m. into Siskiyou County. Along the Cascades, it does last until 11 p.m. on Sunday. And over east side, we are still dealing with the winter weather advisory. Areas to the west have been discontinued, as well as into the Shasta Valley. But for today, high temperatures are going to be a lot cooler. We are well below average for this time of year. Some areas will be even struggling to make it out of the 30s, let alone the 40s for today. Windy conditions across the region as well. This morning we saw those gusts pick up late into the morning and continued especially into our west side valleys. Right now in Weed, gusts about 39 miles per hour. Over into those higher elevations over east side, and as we're heading towards Klamath Falls along the coast, expect breezy conditions throughout our day today. But areas areas that we are seeing above or pretty strong wind gusts are into the Rogue Valley and into the Shasta Valley. Those wind advisories last until 5 p.m. today, where we can see those gusts between 40 to 55 miles per hour. Now, in terms of gusts as we head overnight, it will still be rather blustery along the coast and into our higher elevation areas. And then as we're heading into tomorrow, first we'll see those winds pick up as we're heading along the coast late into the morning, early afternoon. But by the evening hours, those gusts will be pretty strong along the coast, and we'll be tracking the potential for those gusts to go close to 75 miles per hour. And then as we're heading into Sunday, over east side, we're also tracking some pretty strong wind gusts. Wouldn't be surprised at times into those higher elevations. We saw them get over 60 miles per hour out of the southwest. We will be keeping a close eye on the Shasta Valley as well. But then those areas when we do get these storms, see pretty strong wind gusts also into the Rogue Valley. It will be rather windy for your Sunday. Now on top of that, we are tracking quite a bit of precipitation moving in with this atmospheric river setup starting Saturday into our Sunday. Take a look at that. We'll be dealing with at least about 4 to 8 inches, even more maybe in some localized areas heading towards the coast. And this does raise the concern for some flooding. So now we do have a flood watch that is in effect from 5 p.m. Saturday until 11 p.m. Sunday. Let's take a look at your next 7 days along the coast. Windy and wet through the weekend. Over into Northern California, same deal. We'll see snow levels rise a bit as well. Tuesday is looking like when we'll finally be getting our break, but we have to deal with this wet weather first. Expect wintry conditions into your Friday and Saturday. Snow levels do rise a bit on Sunday, so we'll likely see that switch over into rain. In the mountains, make sure you are carrying your chains with you at least through this weekend with dealing with this winter weather. Sunday, it'll be more of that higher elevation snow with levels a bit higher, and finally back into the Rogue Valley, windy and wet for your weekend.